what's up? Film Fights with Friends, Fans, and Family. We're always trying to work this intro, but I just figured we'll add a couple more F words. And I'm Stephen Keffer with...
This is Paul Veracci.
Oh my God. That is, we're giggly because we just had the most amazing chat with Anthony Hoang.
We did. It was like we were hanging out at the bar.
Yeah, it was great. Awesome. It was really great. And we really, in this episode, get into how not to get into the stunt business.
And how to get into the stunt business.
Yeah, we're just kind of taking it, we're re-engineering the question because we all get asked questions all the time. How do I get into the stunt business? How do I get into the stunt business? So rather than giving people a bullet point list, which never really works, we kind of shared a lot of don'ts, a lot of stories about don'ts, and some do's, but we kind of came in from the backside.
I hear that's your favorite thing to do, buddy.
Hey, come on, man. This is, it's a family show, Paul. That's for Patreon extras right there. But speaking of Patreon, we are sponsoring a winter mixer and movie night and open training.
That's right. So you can come and hang out with us, watch a movie,
and work out.
We'll work out beforehand, and then we got some cool little gifts for our Patreon members.
Yeah, we're on December 20th. We're doing the open workout mixer and movie screening. Mm-hmm. So starting at 11 a.m., from 11 a.m. to 4, we're going to have an open workout. Bring your mitts, bring your boxing gloves, bring your gi, your judo gi, whatever. We're just going to have a fun workout for anybody who shows up. 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we're going to just hang out, have some drinks, and at 6 o'clock, we'll show a movie. And we're not sure what movie we're showing yet.
Nice.
We're waiting on some votes from people. So if you have a vote on what movie you want to see, definitely comment on the Patreon page if you're a Patreon person, or, comment on the Instagram post or Facebook post, we posted everywhere about it. On the YouTube, there's a post on YouTube about it. So let us know what movie you think we should show. I have some ideas. I'm sure you have some ideas, Paul.
I do. I mean, you know me. I watch the same fucking 20 movies every day for the past 30 years. So
let us know. But if you are, like Paul said, if you are a Patreon member, a paying Patreon member, we have some cool gifts for you that we acquired while we were working for Paramount on the Mission Impossible campaign. Some cool limited edition posters and other really cool swag and things like that if you are a Patreon supporter and you show up to our mixer, you will get a pretty cool gift.
Which also comes to be, if you want to be a Patreon supporter, support us on Patreon.
Yeah, man, that is the lifeblood of the show,
right? You guys really do keep us going. You have no idea how many, all of our awards, everything that we submit to, everything that we put in, all those little donations from Patreon really help us able to get them.
Dude, the new mixing board. Thank you, Patreon members.
Sound is great. I can play with the wires now, and there's no cracklies.
Actually, it's we really appreciate the Patreon folks, and we know that there are a lot of you on Patreon that follow us that are free followers. What do we got to do to get you to upgrade a little bit?
Just a little upgrade, $5 a month, nothing too crazy.
We have a $2 level, level that will just $2 will get you none of the other perks, but it will get you the advanced access to the episodes.
Ooh,
for $2.
Very nice.
You'll get the episodes 5 days before everybody else.
And you'll also be up for all of the other giveaways as a paying Patreon member. So all of the autographs, all the posters, all of those things, you will be included in all of those things.
The giveaway. Well, I don't know if that's true, but it is now since you said it.
Well, there we go. Paying Patreon member, you get included with paying Patreon stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, there will be certain things that we will do for certain levels.
Yeah, for sure.
But the general giveaways
for the random giveaways, for sure.
Yeah,
you're part of it. So definitely, please consider supporting us on Patreon. The link is in the show notes, and it's basically in the bio of every place we are.
And if you want to go to the super duper high level, you can become one of our sponsors.
Yeah, and we need to thank Stun Contact because you are, aside from just being an awesome service, it's one of the best breakdowns in the business, I think.
And one of the only reasons I am able to not email the same coordinator and over again, because I have an organized place to keep track of what I send out.
I know, right? But no, Stunt Contact, you're awesome. And we are so thankful for your support of this show. And we definitely are glad to pay it forward, that support, and really promote you because you offer a great service.
Yep.
You're just awesome. We love you, Stunt Contact. The links are in the show notes. please, if you're in the industry, not just a stunt person, if you just want to know what's shooting where, what's in pre-production, what's in development, what's in production, what's wrapped, all that stuff is in there. And it consolidates all the articles from the trades. Like, so you'll find a listing that'll consolidate the deadline, the variety, all the different articles about that production, who's in it, the cast, who's the line producer, who's the director, who's the casting agent. All that stuff is in there. You can get weekly or daily emails. So it's definitely really worth checking out. So please check out Stunt Contact. If you like this show, they are a big part of why this show even exists.
And if you're going to join their mailing list, you might as well join ours too.
Yep, that's right. Join ours, fightingwithfriendspod@gmail.com if you want to be in the mailing list.
And then follow, comment on all of our other platforms.
Everywhere. Instagram, everywhere. TikTok.
YouTube,
everywhere. It's Film Fights Friends Pod, @Film Fights Friends Pod, everywhere. Just search that and you'll find us. And I
can't wait to get going. On this
episode. So let's do that.
I'll talk with Anthony.
Let's end this intro and
right. Shut the fuck up, man.
Shut the fuck up. You shut up.
You shut up.
No, you shut up, dude.
All right, here we go.
Dude, Anthony, we are so excited. We've been waiting since we decided that we were going to do this with you. We've been so excited to do this.
I'm excited. I'm surprised it took this long for you guys to get me on the podcast. I'm a little butthurt here.
We were waiting for someone to cancel on us.
We were intimidating. Oh, see, I was going to go the other way. We were intimidating.
Dropped out.
Yeah. No, but we you know what? We wanted to do this topic because we all get asked this question all the time. How do you get into
Did you pick me because I'm like the biggest fuck up?
No, we probably pick you because you work more than any of us.
No.
So you probably get it more than anyone.
No, but you know what it is you, honestly, we can have this conversation with you in good humor.
Yes.
We know it'll be fun and funny.
Because I know, Steve knows, every single stunt person knows what happens when a BG walks up to you and says, "How do I get into stunts?"
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, for the listeners, we have a little bullet point list we're going to go through, and then we'll just kind of freestyle it when we get to each one. And so we're going to start, Anthony, with cold intros. Like when you get that rando email from someone or rando private message from someone wanting advice or submitting.
I've wrapped my head around this one a lot. I usually give them the general strokes because chances are they're just curious and they are not going to do anything with the advice you give them.
Yeah.
The best way I think I handled it recently was I saw it happen to another stunt performer, and he was like, "Well, what do you do?" And then the background guy was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, are you a skydiver? Are you X-Olympics or X Games?" And the guy was kind of flabbergasted, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, man." And he's like, "Oh, okay." It kind of jogs something in their mind where they're like, "Oh, there's a little more to this than what I'm seeing here. Just because you're falling on the ground doesn't mean that's all you do."
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like there was an editorial, and I forget her name, but it was written for ACTRA. There was a how to get into stunts little thing written for ACTRA, and she said, "What do you do better than 95% of the rest of the population?" And I was like, that's kind of what I ask people now. I'm like, "Oh, what do you do better than everybody else?" What are you bringing to the table? To your point, what skill is going to get you in the door, right? It's the skill won't keep you working necessarily, but what's going to get you in the door?
Yeah, because I think a lot of times BG will see us be there to safety somebody stage diving. They're like, "Oh, that's easy. I could do that." It's yeah. I mean, we're thankful for the easy days, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for insurance.
When we talked about in the episode with Punisher, when I was just standing there as safety for the fight going on, kind of basically there to keep BG away.
Yeah.
You're sometimes you end up being that bouncer, and you're that intermediary guy that's make sure background doesn't get in this scene.
Yeah, or protecting the camera op or doing things like that,
And you're not concerned about trying to fight your way in front of the camera and doing extra stuff.
Most of the time you find as a stunt guy that even when the camera's right in front of you, you're not in it.
Oh yeah.
You're not there. Even when you go to watch it, you're like, "Oh, the camera was right in front of me. I can't wait to see this episode." And then you're just like, "Shit."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like you said, maybe you don't want to be in it because then you're burned and you're not coming back
Very
that
true.
season or whatever. You know,
You're trying to hide your face doing the stunt performer salute. That's not me.
That's it.
You know, I had to do a fall like that, and then, you know, off a building, and on the way down, I realized where my arm was and where the camera was, and I literally got up and started walking back, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I got to cover my face on the fall.
But you mentioned that they won't follow your advice anyway. Like I had a guy fairly recently reached out to me on Reddit, and you know, he actually had started a post on Reddit first, like asking for advice about his reel, and he posted his reel. You know, I private messaged him and I gave him, I said, hey man, here's some notes, you know, for your reel, and then we had a nice back and forth, you know, about resume, how to set up your resume, how to do your headshot, you know, and your reel. And then literally like 4 months later, he posted again in the same, and this is in the stunts subreddit, like asking all the same questions. Like he totally like, and some other veteran performer started answering him with all the same stuff I told the guy privately.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just commented on the Reddit, like, dude, I literally said all this stuff to you 4 months ago. Like, why are you here again asking the same old questions? Your reel looks exactly the same. Your headshot looks exactly the same. Everything looks exactly the same. And this other performer is taking the time to answer your questions and giving you the very same answers you got from me 4 months ago. Like, what's the deal? Like, why haven't you done anything? And then he gave me some excuse about time and this and that and the other thing. And I was like, well, then you don't want to really do this. Like, how badly do you want to do this? It's been 4 months. You can't have a friend take a better selfie, better headshot, like whatever.
Yeah, I find that annoying sometimes where people, they kind of put a net out there and they're trying to like get all the answers and cherry pick the best ones rather than taking what they were given and then trying it out and seeing if it works or doesn't and then go back to the drawing board. I don't know. I see a lot of people wanting shortcuts. Sometimes they're asking not how to get into stunts. They just want a job.
Yeah.
That's a little
Or
disappointing.
they just want to do something cool.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that the cool stuff that we do takes training and time and talent. And then, you know, sometimes even when we have people that come into our workshops that are you know, actors that are looking to be able to do more on set. I don't necessarily want to say become stunt people, but, you know, they definitely realize that they need to learn a few things. And then they'll come here and, you know, they'll even on the mats and they'll roll. And you look at them after they roll and it's like, well, why? What's wrong? And they're like, well, it hurts. It's like, well, yeah, it fucking hurts. You're hitting the ground. Like, we're not telling you that this doesn't hurt. This is just the way to make it hurt the least.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's like what Anthony said, like the person maybe it was on set with you on a day and they saw it was an easy day and we didn't really do much. And they're thinking like, oh, I could do stunts or whatever. Because remember I invited a guy from set one time, an actor, and he came here for our fundamental falls workshop. Mm-hmm. And then, so we did like 6 hours of falling. And then when we were circling up at the end, he goes, yeah, no, I don't want to do my own stunts, man. You know,
sometimes those workshops are great for that. You know, that it weeds people out.
Well, it's not even, it's just a reality check. It's like, just like, okay, so you want to try it, come train with us, you know, and see what the deal is.
Yeah. But I had a camera op not too long ago ask me like, how do you prepare for a stair fall? How do you make it not hurt? I'm like, what are you talking about? It hurts. I'm just going to do it.
Well, there's a difference between hurt and injured. Yeah. You don't want to get injured, but it's going to hurt.
What was that from the program?
Was it?
Great football movie back in the day when James Caan walks up to Omar Epps when he just got knocked the fucking crushed on the field and he's like, are you hurt? Or are you injured? He's like, what's the difference, coach?
But you know what? What also is annoying is like when somebody reaches out to you and you decide to answer them and to try and help them, mm-hmm. and then you never hear from them again. Mm-hmm.
It's like, or they don't even reply back to you or say, hey, thanks for the advice or anything. They just disappear, or they take the info you gave them and then run with it and then never come back to you. And they're just like, I did it on my own. It's like, whoa, come on now.
Yeah. It's one or the other, right? They ghost you, or they, like you said, they just take the advice and it works for them. And there's like no shout out, like, oh, hey, thanks, Anthony, for that advice. It really worked.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't need a public shout out, but like a little email back, like, hey, dude, thanks so much. You know?
Yeah, just for carving out some time. And like, you don't have to answer them. And like these people, like, they want a short Spark Notes version. It's like, it's such a complicated answer and how to get into stunts. You can't just cover it in like 3 texts.
No.
I mean, I've spent phone calls with people for like 3 hours, just kind of walking them through things, and now I'm just kind of being more selective.
Yeah.
I mean, people ask, they're like, well, when they ask, how do you get into it? I was like, well, I was older and at a later stage in my life. I was like, so I looked back. I was like, how do you get into anything? You start at the bottom.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was like, okay, if I want to be on set and I need to learn how set works. So how am I going to figure that out? Well, be a PA. Luckily, I had a background that got me into the security portion of that. But
learn the set culture.
Learn set culture. You may want to be a stunt person, and spend six months, spend a year on set, work a full show, and you may realize that maybe you don't want to be a stunt person.
Yeah.
You want to do something else on set.
Well, and it's about building the relationships, right? I mean, in the end, this is a relationship business, no matter what department you work for.
Well, I guess what I was going to say when it comes to relative to stunts is if you don't have any type of a physical background and you just think stunts is cool, get the experience, become a PA and find out if maybe there's just another part of set that's better for you if you just want to be involved. Yeah. Stunts isn't the only way, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's definitely the fucking coolest way.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we've all had those moments where we're left scratching our heads like what brought you to this moment that you think stunts is the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like what brought you to this moment, Like, have you trained a martial art? Have you done parkour? Are you jet skier, like snowboarder? Like, what do you do? And it's like, they don't, and it's like, what was the leap for you that brought you to stunts?
I think part of it is more acting jobs.
Yeah, no, sometimes that is it. It's like the failed actor or the failed model wants to get in front of the camera somehow, so they go to stunts.
Well, a lot of times when people are like, oh, I want to do that. Like, let's just say, you go to do a special move and you throw an HK. And then someone's like, oh, I want to do that. Everybody wants to do that. But do you want to put in the fucking time to learn how to do that?
Yeah.
Because that's why he showed off. Because he put in the time to learn how to do it. Yeah. There's no easy answer. It's time, it's practice, it's effort. And if you think that there's an easy answer when it comes to doing something physical outside of practice, you're in for a rude awakening, especially when it comes to hurting yourself.
Well, it's like, like I got in for fighting, but it was like 3 years before I had a real fight scene. Like people don't want to hear that. It's like, what? I was like, yeah, I got in for fight skills. And then it was like 3 years of falling and tripping and falling and getting, getting roughed up, but it was not fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah, you have to earn, you have to build the trust to get to that spot.
Yeah.
They're not just going to let you go in fight number 1 on your first day. They don't know if you're going to punch them or not.
Exactly. It's like, how many Sambo movies are there? I got lucky with Wick because it's a Sambo thing, but okay, so how many movies do you know where Sambo is a thing? It's like, it's like I got to learn how to drive, learn how to rig, learn how to be on a wire, like learn how to shoot and edit and learn all these other things.
Just like you said, Anthony, fight with a stunt guy, fight with a number 1. They happen differently.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, while you guys are talking about skills, I've been kind of figuring this one out. Do you think it's better to be really good at one thing, or do you think it's better to be mediocre at a bunch of things?
That's a good question.
Because everyone's playing a different game, and I've seen it work both sides.
That's like the medical profession, right? Are you going to specialize? Or are you going to be a general practitioner?
Mm-hmm.
I feel I can only speak for myself, and part of it, I don't know if I would have the same answer if I'd been in the business since I was like 18 or something. But because I got into the business later in life, from the stunt perspective anyway, is my goal is to have that one skill, which is fights, falls,
mm-hmm.
the bread and butter stuff that I do really well, and then slowly improve all the other stuff. Like some rising the level of all the other stuff. But I tend to, like, when new people ask me, like, or like, you've probably seen this, Anthony, this ties right into your question. It's like, you meet an aspiring stunt performer, and they're taking parkour here, they're taking martial arts there, they're doing this over here, they're like studying 6 different things at once. And I'm like, you're never going to get good at any of those things.
Yeah.
You have to pick one, get really fucking good at it.
Mm-hmm.
At least pick 2, like give yourself something else. But if you spread yourself too thin, you won't work. So like, I guess my answer is somewhere in the middle. Like, you should be pretty good at a couple of things, like as an expert level or at least advanced level. And then the other stuff you should work on bringing it up. Like driving. I'm not a stunt driver, but I've trained a lot of driving to the point where I'm like, when people call me up, like, hey, do you drive? My first question is, are you asking if I have a license? This is New York, right? A lot of people don't have a license. Yes, I have a license. Okay. Do you stunt drive? I'm not a stunt driver, but I put a lot of wheel time in. I'm definitely good for like ND stuff, small gags. You want to put your number one in the back seat of my car. You can trust me. I'm good on that level, but I'm never at this stage in my career, I'm never going to put in enough training for enough time
to be that driver on Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. Like, so like some of it is just about be real about who you are and what you can do at your stage of your career. So like, I'm very happy being a trustworthy driver that can drive a grid or that can do ND stuff or anything like that, or maybe hot to the mark or some simple types of stuff.
I guess, to go on to your question, I don't think it matters. I think what matters is knowing when to say no.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're a professional or not, or at something or not. When somebody asks you if you can do something, there's a part of you that immediately says yes or immediately says no. And then maybe there's a few parameters, but there's usually a no first. It's like, no, but if it's no, but your answer is no, so I would say that even you could be great at something and to the best of your ability at it, but they can ask you if you can do something and your answer may be no.
Yeah. I mean,
on that side of things,
being honest.
Right. So it's all about really being honest with yourself as opposed to being an expert at everything.
Well, yeah, this is not a fake it till you make it business.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Because faking it till you make it will get someone killed.
Yeah, I guess where I'm going with this is because it's very, getting into stunts is very all over the place on how you get in. And I think how you want to play the game is also kind of like that too. Because I've definitely seen guys who do nothing but stunt driving. They get flown all over the country, out of the country too. And that's all they do is driving. And they don't want to fight. But then there's people who want to do utility stuff who train a little bit of everything. Right.
But so here's what I'm going to say. You may want to be a stunt driver, but if you don't know how to fall, they're never going to have you be the guy that rolls out of a car while it's moving.
Yeah.
Oh. Right. So in a way, I guess if you're going to be good or at anything, if you're a great driver, then you better make sure that, I guess, in the stunt world, I guess whenever anyone thinks about it, they think about falling, getting hurt, that mangled body, that hitting the ground, I think, or taking a punch. So I think if you're going to be a stuntman, I think if you're going to have a basis or be well-rounded in anything, it's hitting the ground and fighting, and then you can be an expert in something else.
I would say, like, also just to follow up with what you said about like the expert driver that gets flown around everywhere for driving and doesn't have to do anything else. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I don't think there's a either or situation, but I think it is about knowing what you want to be. Like that person knows this is what I want to be. And like you said, some people want to be utility. I like the idea of being a utility person that can be brought in. And that's because my aspirations are not to be the best fall guy in the world. My aspirations are as a filmmaker, right? So I'm trying to learn as much as I can, do as much as I can, learn the safety game, learn the, a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm saving up again for Rick Siemens' course, right?
Yeah.
Because my transmission went out and it cost me everything I was going to do. It's taking me a while to come back for it. So, but I'm saving up for that not because of what I want to do on film. It's because of what I want to learn for myself about how to drive a car.
Right.
So I think that there are different goals that you can have. If you want to go and take a driving course because you want to spin a 90 and stop the car in front of someone on a film, you might be fucking disappointed. But if you go to learn for yourself, you're probably going to have the greatest experience ever.
And I think that's how you should approach training in general, because I've also seen people try to just rack on certs and take on every course. It's like, don't try to train something just because you might get a day or two out of it once in a while. Go learn something because you actually enjoy it and want to. Like if you have no interest in learning tricking, I mean, it's so hard. You got to put years into tricking. Don't start just because you think you want to get on the next Marvel movie or something.
I was the other day when we were at the Open Punisher audition, right? For your just, hey, you know, I can do this. What's your special thing? You threw a Hong Kong out there, right? I'm pretty sure you threw the HK, right?
I did, yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I was like, I remember when I first started learning how to do an HK, and I did it for months, 6, 7, 8 months, and I was still doing it on an 8-incher. You know what I mean? And I was throwing 10, 20, 30 a day just to be able to feel comfortable to spot my landing. So for anyone who thinks that you can just, you know, whip something like that out without training and it doesn't take time and it doesn't take effort, it is crazy if you don't have a background in that.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, like it's about time management, investment, like take Corey Eubanks's car crash.
You got one chance left. He's doing his very last one in a few weeks.
Yeah, but so this is to the point. Like, I would love to do it. I mean, money aside of flying down there and staying down there, forget if I had all the money in the world, I probably still wouldn't do it. And if I did do it, it would not be because I have a fantasy that I'm going to be the driver that they call to do a crash, because I'm not that guy.
Right.
Like,
you just want to do it.
I just want to learn whatever knowledge he has about that skill just to have in my back pocket, because maybe I'm going to be on set one day as a bystander where there's a crash and I'll have a little more ability to be my own safety person or whatever. But I'm not going down there to do a car crash class thinking that I'm going to be the guy they call to do a car crash. Like the guy there's 10, 15, 20 people ahead of me on that list. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just about being real. You know, it's about being real about who you are, what you can do, and the time you have to put into it, or that you're willing to put into it.
I was put a quick plug in about Corey's car crashing clinic. It is so worth it, just hearing him tell all the stunt stories.
Dude, it looks awesome.
When we first started this episode, I was just talking about how I was joking about being one of the biggest like screw ups. But when you listen to, honestly, everyone screws up, and that's how you kind of learn. But Corey, in his course, there's so many stories of him telling you how he failed and what went wrong, and why the things he does work now. You know, it's all about failing forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love that he shares all that. He doesn't hold back. He's just like, this is where I messed up.
I always tell my first experience on set, and I fucking failed miserably.
We all do it.
We all do it. And Corey, you know, Corey had his own podcast. I mean, I don't know if he still does. I stopped following him because it was so inconsistent.
He's bringing it back.
Well, he had the video one for a while, Stunt Stories, and then he had the podcast one.
Yep.
But, you know, the ones that actually dropped when they dropped were full of great knowledge and stuff like that.
Oh,
the thing is like you get one like every 5 months, so I just like stopped subscribing.
So we talked about multifaceted stunt jobs, right?
Yes.
But you are multifaceted in all kinds of areas of film.
So your aspiration, are we wrong? Your aspiration is to be that utility guy.
Because
it seems like it anyway.
You have FX credits.
I do, yeah. I'm just a collector of skills.
We looked. We checked you out, motherfucker.
I'm a curious creature, and I like to learn new skills, and I have a talent for remembering things. And look, I think it comes from like my background in magic with magic tricks. I like to figure out how the magic trick works, and then kind of hold on to that. And then whenever the occasion calls for it, I can pull it out and do the thing.
Right.
So I try to do effects like rigging came from circus when I toured as a ringling clown. We had to rig all the aerial stuff, and you know, as a clown, you kind of train across on all different areas like high wire and trapeze, whatever you saw. We kind of had to do a little bit of it, so that kind of set me up for stunts.
Are clowns like the utility guy of that?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's cool. So you're bringing that mentality with you here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to learn how to set up lights, load cases. What did you say? Sorry.
I said, just don't start calling utility guys clowns. That's not going to work out very well.
Yeah, totally. But you brought up training. that is on our list. Like, so what other do's and don'ts are there that you can think of regarding training or training groups? Or
actually, I have a segue question before we get into training that goes back to jobs. How do you actually feel about, there's that mentality of certain people, and I've run into it, and I've had personal conversations with people that are like, well, if you do anything else but stunts, you don't really want to be a stunt guy.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I've definitely come across that mentality too. But like when you're starting out, like you got to figure it out and have survival jobs and work other jobs that are film adjacent, right? Like not everyone can be a Nepo baby and be like, oh yeah, you were a boat driver for a coordinator. They liked you. They brought you in and now you're on every show. I mean, I worked background for the longest time trying to break into stunts, and that's how I got my SAG card and figured out how set works. And I think honestly, everyone should work as a PA or background at some point. Even if it's only for 2 or 3 days, you learn how the bottom of the totem pole works, and you're getting paid to observe and learn how set works.
100%.
Well, if you're going to be a great chef, you better be the best dishwasher in your kitchen.
Exactly.
I do have to say though, I mean, eventually I feel like there's a lot of like rules in film. I think you learn them and you break them, right? And they're not really, nothing's really hard set unless it's a safety thing. It's all contextual. So yeah, when you're first starting to break into stunts, like how do you get your SAG card? You either get on a low budget and you get lucky and get tafted in, or you work 3 days of background hoping for those vouchers. So work those BG days, get paid, learn set, be around people, learn how departments work. But I think eventually you gotta make that choice of like, all right, maybe I gotta throttle off of this and not take on as many BG days because then I won't be taken seriously. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it when you're starting out. It's just don't be a career BGPA guy and then try to get stunts every now and then.
I agree with you. I also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I also think it's different when you have advice coming from someone who's actually gotten you a paycheck. So from somebody who hires you, who tries to give you guidance, right? And is like, hey, you know, you might, and that guy keeps hiring you. That might be someone I would listen to more than someone who's never hired me before, who's like, no, turn down money.
Well, that goes back to
but you're not paying me, so why the hell am I going to listen to you? But okay, example, I got my BG vouchers right from Norm on Gotham.
Yeah,
and Norm, my final day when I got my voucher, he gave me 3, bang, 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 like he hooked me up. And love you, Norm. And he was like, I don't ever want to see you work background again. And I was like, and he's like, if I do, you know, he's like, I don't know how I'm going to look at you moving forwards towards stunts. And I was like, you know, respect. I was like, you hired me. You told me that. I'm going to listen to you because of that. And I've never worked BG again after I got my vouchers. Why? Because someone who hired me told me something, and the way that he told it to me and the way he presented it to me seemed like great advice that I am now going to follow. It wasn't just someone spewing bullshit because he's just like, this is the way it is.
Well, to bring that piece of advice back to like the original question is like, so if that advice was given to a rookie, like you have to also take into context, I think, who's giving the advice and when they came into the business. Like, because it's very different. Like the guys that have been in for decades, you know, and the community was much smaller and there was a lot more work and like all this kind of stuff. Like right now, I think probably like one of the things, like when somebody says, how do I get into stunts? I'm like, wow, you're picking the worst time ever to try and get into this business because, you know, do you have your EU passport, dude? You know, it's like, because right now it's really, really tough. So you have to really fucking want it, and you have to be willing to sacrifice a lot, right? You have to be willing to sacrifice money for training, time. It's my wife's birthday, but I got my first gig offer. Nope. Well, what are you going to do? The birthday or the gig? Like, how bad do you want this job? Like, so there's a lot of sacrifices, a lot of time. And right now at this time in the industry, it is hard as heck for even the working guys to get work. You'll get advice from some of the super old timers that may not really apply to the current world state of the film industry. You know what I mean?
I think there's also a difference between working old timers and non-working old timers.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah,
that is true too. Are they still working? But they're there. They're already in there. You know.
That's a tough one. I when I got into the business, I was getting a lot of like the old school mentality, and now that I'm seeing this new wave of like how to hustle with social media and emails and stuff, I'm having a little hard time transitioning because it's not the way I was brought into it.
Sure.
Yes, I'm struggling with that sometimes. It feels like, if you're out of sight, out of mind, and I'm like, I don't really want to post anything. I just kind of want to just do my own thing and stay quiet. But then you're not getting calls, So then it's like,
you know what?
Let's talk about
you and I are in the same boat, and I get yelled at all the time, especially by fucking this guy.
I'm like, dude,
I'm the same way you are.
I'm like, you got to post more, bro. You got to post more. Let people know you're alive.
And the thing is like I was.
But don't post shit.
And want to know what I'm gonna go into. If you posted more, like when I saw you, the first thing I did after I got done with when we got done with the Punisher open call was the first thing I did was fucking call Steve and tell him how awesome I thought you looked.
You did, thanks, brother.
It was the first thing I did. Like, no joke. I was like, holy shit, dude. I haven't seen Anthony in so long. I go, I don't know why he's not posting more shit. He's a fucking animal, dude, and he fucking killed it.
And he also said, Anthony looks jacked.
Dude, I was like, what the fuck, man?
You guys know, the funny thing about throwing that HK was because Jude, he was like, what record are you going to throw? And I was like, no, he's a Hong Kong guy. I was like, I can do a Sayuchi or a HK. And he's like, no, HK. Right. And honestly, I hadn't, when did we do that audition? Like June, July or something?
Like that, yeah.
I hadn't thrown an HK since like February, and
go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, let's send it. But so when I was taking that reaction from Erica's punch, I started sending it. I jumped up, started twisting, and I was like, oh, this feels weird. And then I landed, and I was like, oh, damn, I think I messed it up. I did only like one spin, maybe half a spin. So I was like, the room was quiet, and I was like, oh, I totally messed up. So I run up to Amanda Cass, and I was like, she trains with me all the time. I'm like, Amanda, did I mess it up? She's like, no. Not only did you do it, it was super high. And then I thought about it. It's because I had disappeared for a little bit. I lost like 35, 40 pounds. And it felt weird because I'm not used to doing the HK at this weight. So that's why I had the extra hang time. I was like, oh, this feels great.
Dude, you were straight. You were log. Man, you were fucking horizontal when you spun that shit. It was awesome.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, first time throwing that at the new weight. It feels good.
That actually brings up, that kind of can bring us up to this next thing, which is on the resumes, claiming a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Because, right, I don't even remember who said to me, but somebody once said to me, don't put anything down as a skill that you can't do right now without rehearsal. And like your story is actually reminding me of that, Yeah. And then like Kevin Rogers told the story on his episode, if you go back a few episodes, about the guy, it was an actor who put on his resume that he could ride quads for Charm City Kings. And then he got on set and he couldn't. And it was a good day for that set security guy who was a local dude that got a job set, who was part of the actual 12 o'clock crew. And they hired him and got him an acting coach on set.
Wow.
Gave him the role. It was all because this other guy claimed he could ride quads and couldn't.
All the stars aligned for that guy, huh? Crazy.
Oh, that was, yeah. But it's so that to your story is a perfect put. Like, don't put on your resume something that you can't do right now.
Or just because you did it in a workshop doesn't mean you can do it on a set without instruction. Like when they say, can you do something? Can you do it? Boom.
Yeah.
Can you? Yes.
I always say if you can do it at Walmart at 12 o'clock in the morning, then you can put it on your resume. And the reason why I say that is because Walmart floors are so hard. I don't know if you guys ever slipped and fell on one of those. They are packed. But also I say 12 o'clock in the morning is because you know how stunts work. Like you're sitting around all day and then all of a sudden you're up at 2 a.m. when you're in your prime. You've been sitting there for like 12 hours and you're like, all right, go do the thing. And it's like, oh, I didn't have a chance to warm up. I'm half asleep. Let's do it.
Dude, they always put stunts at the end of the, it's like, I don't mind putting it at the end of the shoot schedule, but then don't call me in so early, dude. Like, it's like, bring me in later.
Yeah.
No, we just want you around just in case. Like, yeah, I get it. But yeah, no, that's a good one. If you got to be able to do it on Walmart. That should be like our advice for reels. What should I put on my reel? Go to Walmart and do a fall in the
do the biggest clapback you can do.
Like do a forward roll while you're walking for your milk. Complete the roll, open the door, and grab your milk without breaking stride.
There you go. And then do a taco.
Dude, there was one day I was walking out of
in the Mexican food aisle.
Out of my buddy's store, and I didn't lift my foot up enough, and I just caught the bottom of my shoe going down a step, and I tucked, I rolled out into the street, but then there was a car right in front of me, and I was able to lift my head up and then stop my head before it hit the car. And my buddy, the first thing I did when I looked back at my buddy was he looked left and he looked right, and he goes, "Fuck." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "That was so awesome, and no one else is going to see it." And he's like, "You're definitely a stuntman, dude." He goes, "I don't know how you just did that." He goes, "Your drink is on the ground. Your coffee is on the ground with bottom up, and my keys were next to it because in my roll, I placed my coffee and my keys on the ground and then hit my roll."
When's your next workshop, Paul? I'm signing up.
And he was just like, "What the fuck, dude?"
We're gonna put on the Keurig and have people roll down the stairs with a cup of coffee.
When you have the students roll in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
they're like, "Why does it hurt?" Because you're rolling on the ground, man.
Well, I always tell them, like, you look real good. You're making all these little mistakes on the mats, but you're not feeling the consequence of those little mistakes. I'm like, let's just go roll down the hallway on the hardwood. What?
Yeah, that'll give you feedback right away.
And all of a sudden, it's like that part of your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your ankle, like whatever's like tagging the floor, and the space, because the hallway's pretty narrow.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta keep the targeting. Can't go off to the sides.
Oh, I love it.
What is your wait, we had another segue question. We were going somewhere.
Well, we're on resume.
Jumping around. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, any other do's and don'ts on the resumes besides don't lie?
Oh, resume. Dude, I got ready for this. I made a whole thing.
Oh my God.
You guys got me thinking. I was like, oh, I want to talk about all this, but
well, then cut off and start talking about shit.
Yeah. Anything for the resumes?
Just tell us, shut up, old man.
I don't know. You guys got anything?
Let me ask you this. At what point, because so in the beginning, you'll get a resume from a rookie, and of course it just has their training and it doesn't have any jobs on it yet, right? When they're brand new. And so here's a question. Is there anything that you shouldn't put on the resume?
Yeah, irrelevant information. Well, first of all, I think you got to know how to format it. If you don't, take a look at other people's resumes or get somebody to look at it and give you some help. But I
always tell people, go to Stunt Listing and just start looking at resumes. All different. There's every kind of resume you get, the way that is formatted.
How do you feel about headshot on top of a resume?
I don't think it hurts or helps. It's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I put on my resume, it's a PDF, and I have the little headshot in the top corner next to my stats, my weight and all that kind of shit. And then it's an interactive PDF. So if you touch my headshot, my reel will open up. It'll go to my reel.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Maybe QR codes for the next thing.
What's that?
QR codes. If you want to get real fancy.
I already have it. I have it right. I have it on my phone.
But I mean, on the resume.
Oh yeah, but yeah, you could do that too. I should.
Yeah.
Because I have the QR code for me that has the link to my reels, my IMDb, all that kind of stuff.
I have it to my Venmo.
Yeah, my business card is like a QR code that links to everything.
Yeah. So don't put irrelevant stuff. So what would be like an irrelevant thing?
Some people format it with stuff like, I went to whatever college. It's not a regular job resume. So don't.
Right.
I don't put my chef shit on my stunt resume.
Yeah.
I don't have my master's degree or my bachelor's degree on there.
Yeah, no.
Or if you mix it up with acting credits, it's supposed to be a stunt resume. Keep it stunts only. And what you guys? Go ahead.
I was going to say people should have multiple resumes. So I have my stunt performer resume, and then I have my filmmaker. When somebody reaches out to me about anything other than being a performer, like maybe potentially coordinating something, or I just got my first production safety coordinator credit on a movie. So I have a resume that has it's more of a CV. It's everything I've ever done in film. Whether it's stunts, acting, safety roles, it's got everything. Reality TV, all the different stuff that I've done. But I keep that aside for specific moments when I'm going to apply for a job where that information is important. Otherwise, I have my other resume, my stunt resume, which is just only my stunt stuff, And I used to have two different stunt resumes because you would, you hear through the grapevine, oh, well, so-and-so likes resumes this way, or so-and-so doesn't like to see this stuff on. But now after 10 years, I just have one stunt resume.
Yeah, keep it easy. You're not gonna make everyone happy. Everyone has different preferences.
Yeah, for sure. So you were going to say, you said if you're going to have your resume, no irrelevant information, and then like college degrees and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's basically it. I think you guys we already talked about don't lie about credits.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, don't lie about credits for sure. I meant don't lie about skills, but.
Oh, I was working on one show and I had a BG guy. He was hired as special ability. He sends me his resume and I see stunt coordinator. He puts my name and I was like, no, dude, I was in the same room as you. I didn't hire you. Don't tell people you work for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
I won't vouch for you.
Well, that's kind of like, just to kind of jump over to social media. That's like, or when you see people's Instagrams and it's like Joe Blow stunts, and then it says in their description, stunt performer, stunt coordinator. It has the whole list of everything.
And they basically just worked on stuff with their friends.
And then you look them up and it's like, dude, you don't have a single credit. Like this just happened recently. Somebody followed the podcast and it said on top they were a stunt coordinator and it had their stunt listing link on it. Mm-hmm. So I went to their stunt listing and then looked at their resume and they had no credits, no stunt credits. So I don't know. It's just weird, right? It's like, are you a stunt performer yet? Like, should people put stunt performer
when they only work for themselves?
If they've never been hired by anybody.
Yeah, and they only work within their own group. And
yeah, like if you're doing
if you've never been hired as a stunt performer, you can't call yourself a stunt performer.
I would say that's a first. You're an aspiring stunt performer.
Yeah.
If you've never been hired as one, you can't call yourself one. You're aspiring.
I remember it was a thing where even if you had like worked like 5-6 different shows, you weren't really supposed to call yourself a stunt performer until like 10 credits in, and like somebody else called you that. Like when the PAs came and got you, and they were like, "Hey, stunts, come on."
I get it. I still don't call myself a stunt man.
I would never let my employees call me chef.
Yeah, it's like I'll just say stunt performer because that's what's on my union card. But it's like when you're putting an IMDb credit. Let's say you're putting in an IMDb. Like sometimes it'll say stunts, sometimes it'll say stunt performer, sometimes it'll say like so. If I had an easy day and I didn't really do anything, I don't put stunt performer. I just put stunts. Like I was in the stunt department, you know. But like if I did a stair fall, I'll put performer. Or if I did a driving gig, something like that. Like if I actually performed anything, I'll put stunt performer. Otherwise, I just put stunts because I was just in the stunt department.
That's pretty valid.
I don't know.
I thought you were saying you don't consider yourself a stunt performer at all at this point in the game. I was
no. Stunt performer, no, stunt performer for sure. But it's like stunt man. I feel like the term stunt man is such a venerated term. Like there's a bucket list of things that I feel like if I haven't done it, I'm not really a stunt man.
Right.
Yet. That's just my personal. I feel like I just feel like I haven't earned that title yet.
You need to get thrown through a table and tossed out a window, lit on fire. Those old school stuntman things.
All in one take.
I mean, I've done all those. But,
no, I know, but
it's like
you're a stuntman. You fuck.
No, but I've never done a fire burn on camera.
Oh,
the one fire burn I did was with you, actually.
Then you're not a stuntman.
We had a little while you were on fire.
We had our little firefight.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
With the drop shoulder throw.
Yeah, the Seonagi while I was on fire.
That was awesome.
That was fun.
That was a good time.
But yeah, so I don't know. So what do you? So social media. Like, what do you think is the best way to present yourself if you're want to be a stunt person?
I'm gonna take it back. That's easy. What's the worst way to present yourself?
The worst way?
Yeah. What shouldn't you do? What should you do? I feel like is for us is like the same thing we've been talking about. Don't put up skills that you've only done once just because it looks good in a shot. So everybody thinks you can do an HK or this or whatever. So I guess that's kind of goes in the segue of what you don't do.
Well, that kind of goes like to what Anthony said before about training a little this, a little that, like just, trying to get everything. Like there are those people who train enough just to get that reel.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my mottos would be always stay hungry, never be thirsty. Some people will keep posting over and over the same stuff, and it's just repetitive. They do it in different costumes or a different background. I get like social media, you want patterns and hitting algorithms or whatever, but when you're just like clouding everyone's feeds with like things that are kind of repetitive, you kind of come off desperate and you're like, oh, I need a job. Just it's like dating. You know, you wanna be casual about it. Like, pitch yourself, but don't be thirsty and desperate.
Look, I get it. You can spin on your knees and shoot a fucking bow and arrow. I don't need to see you do it in a bar
every week,
and every week in a Daredevil costume, in this guy's costume, and that guy's like, I get it.
Oh my god! If I see one more head scissor throw, I'm gonna vomit. Please, like we know, it's like that's so like 10 years ago.
And any spinning head scissor throw with the legs is just fucking so ridiculous now.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Hurricanranas?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, Black Widow, like
whatever. Yeah,
that
was a thing for a bit. Ugh.
But yeah, so I don't know. I haven't put up a practice fight in years, honestly. You know, it's like, why? I mean, I didn't even change. Like, some people, when I first got into business, were like, "Oh, set up a different Instagram account," and I'm like, why? I mean, I am who I am. You know, it's like I didn't set up a Steve Stunts at Steve Stunts. You know, like whatever. It's just the same old Instagram account. Nothing different. You know, I am who I am.
What do you guys think about that? I know it's a mixed bag when it comes to social media. Like, some people say, post your life as you live it. Other people are like, no, keep it professional. Other people, like, who work all the time, they never post anything about work related stuff. It's just about their dogs, their kids, their life. I
think
all can work. I mean, I don't.
I think it depends on the consistency of how you use your platform, and I think that it doesn't matter what you do if you're not consistent in how you do it. That's my issue. Is I can post all kinds of shit, and I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not consistent with what I post. Someday it'll be collectible. Someday mostly it's 90% collectible and just the things that are interesting to me in my life that are non-confrontational, that are things that I'm into, most people are into or whatever, and that's where I kind of stick with it. I try and keep it in a way of where comments are usually, no matter how you want to throw it out there, they always stay middle ground. They're always positive or middle ground. But that's because I try not to use social media as a segue to something that could possibly bring me down, because it's so in your face. It's so powerful. And that if you set yourself up for negativity, those fucking scumbags out there that thrive on it are going to hit you with it. And that's also when it comes up to posting stunt videos.
Sure. I mean, having said that, most of the people that shit on social media videos are not the ones hiring anybody.
Sure.
But I mean, to be fair, like, I had a pretty solid social media following before I got into stunts. So it was really, for me, it was more about how to integrate this new part of my life into this already existing sort of social media identity. So I post less and less about my stunt life now than I do, you know, just my regular martial arts stuff. But if I work on a job, when it airs, I'll be like, yo, check out this episode, man. Well, you know, like whatever. But it's usually more about pictures than videos, you know, for me. What do you think, Anthony?
I mean, what is your, if someone was to click on your Instagram right now, what would it look like?
I actually have two accounts, one personal and one professional. I got some, you know, I've come to learn, no matter what you do, there's going to be people that don't like you for whatever reason. Sure. I just wanted to separate my personal life from stunts. I had a phase where I was working a lot and I was playing hard. So it was party boy Anthony for a bit, just having old fashions and cigars like every night. I didn't want to share that anymore. So I made my personal account and I post a lot about my dog on the personal one. I don't know. I've been a little quiet. I kind of went into ghost mode. I don't want people knowing what I'm up to right now. I'm working on some stuff on the side.
Well, let's reframe it back to, let's say you reach out. So what, somebody reaches out to you, Anthony, and they're a rookie and they want to get into the business, and they send you their Instagram to look at. What do you not want to see on that Instagram?
Ooh.
Like, they, you know, they're pitching you basically on themselves, right? As a potential performer. What do you not want to see?
In a sense, I'll answer. You don't want to see shit.
I mean, I guess I don't want to see them just like posting like them going to the club like every day and
like
they're not working at this and taking it seriously. And I think what drives me crazy is when people say stuff like, "Oh, I kind of wanted to try stunts to see if I liked it," like as if it's a hobby. It's not what they think it is. It's a lifestyle. Stunts is a lifestyle. It's not just something you do part time. Like, you can't just dip in and out when you want to.
What about, you did kind of mention the repetitive stuff, you know,
Well, I mean, I was going to say that most people, because I'm a big collectible guy and that's the majority of my Instagram and my Facebook, they all assume that everything I do autograph wise, I do on set working stunts. And I don't. I've never.
Yeah, you don't let those two worlds
I have
connect.
never asked for an autograph working stunts, and I never would.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not how it works. So it's kind of interesting when I tell people, I'm like, oh no, I don't get this because of this.
You got that on your own time.
I got it on my own time. I am a collector. I go to conventions. I pay.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? I don't
You don't abuse your position.
No, fuck that. There is nothing happier than when I walk up on a line with and John is, Punisher. Mm-hmm. And I walk up on John and he looks up and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? We have that moment. He's like, and I'm like, dude, I'm a nerd first. I go, I don't care. Yeah. I go, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's interesting that sometimes people can be like, oh, they'll take the one job and they'll look at it negatively to another.
Well, you do a good job of keeping those two worlds separate.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to use your social media. Ultimately, it's yours. If you want to do a mix of personal and professional, go ahead. If you want to just keep it one way or the other, that's cool too. I think here's something and be confident with it.
Here's something I hate. Here's one thing I hate. It's not about your social media, how someone crafts their page, but I fucking hate being tagged on videos that I'm not in.
Oh yeah,
I fucking hate it. Like, people will use tags to try and pitch you or sell themselves for you. Like, I got tagged on.
They want you to see it,
but they want you to repost it.
I got tagged on a shitty fight scene recently, and I was like, I don't even know this person. I don't know this person. Why? How am I tagged on this? I just untagged myself, and I was like, why am I tagged on this? Because I know they wanted me to see it. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, that's not that's where you go back to the send me a nice, polite, private message. Mm-hmm. Hey, would you look at this? Give me notes. And then I'll give them the answer that you gave me years ago when we asked if you would look at I think it was Rewind, and you said, "Do you want my real opinion, or do you just want me?" You were like, "Do you want the real truth about what I think about this?" So I use that all the time. I think you, Anthony. I'm like, when people are like, "Hey, will you look at this video?" I'm like, "Do you want my real opinion, my real assessments, or do you just want me to say that looks awesome, dude?" Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's important because some people just shoot fights and send it to you hoping to just get positive feedback, and they don't want to hear the real truth. I think it's important to find people who will actually look at your fights and nitpick it and make you better. Like I thought I was like one of the best fighters ever when I first started, and it wasn't until I met like somebody like Manny Ayala. He was like, "Bro, your fights suck. You don't know how to move." And I was like, "Oh!" So I spent 2 years like recorrecting everything, learning how to like actually be better, and it's actually made me a better performer, and I thank him for that. Mm-hmm. And it's just tough love, but you need honesty, and I think I say stuff like that because it opens the floor to be like, do you want the unfiltered truth, or do you just want a pat on the back?
Yeah.
Well, the way, just like you were saying before, because you know how to fight, you know how to move, and you know how to do things. The way a fight feels and the way a fight looks are completely different. And a fight can feel great and look terrible because what you feel can't be seen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And understanding that the over exaggeration sometimes is just perfect. And that like when you go and when you fight for real, everything's tight, everything's smooth, everything's crisp. And if you're a real fighter and you're not understanding how a camera works, how to use a camera, how timing works for what the eye sees when you're the audience afterwards and before, you could be a shitty fight guy. And it has nothing to do with your abilities as a fight person. It has to do with the fact that you have no idea how to understand a camera.
That's where the practice comes in, dude.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about you guys. I've definitely had fights where like I felt like a rock star, and then watching playback, I'm like, oh no,
totally
so floppy,
or vice versa,
Yeah,
I've been on set where like actually
I look like
on Dead City when we were up there, I was like, I had to do that, this little fall out of camera, and I thought it was for shit. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is terrible. Please let me do it again. They're like, no, it looked great. Let's move on. I was like, no, it looked like I felt like poop. When I saw the final cut, I'm like, oh, that looked pretty good. They were right.
So I was doing mocap work one day, and they had me. I had to finish a drop and run, and then hop on a boat. Right? Again, all of this was made up. It wasn't really there.
Yeah.
But the guy who was jumping out had like a fetish, and he liked to hook up with old people. And he was like a bit of a, he was a bit of a dainty guy when he ran. So I did the run a couple of times, and they were like, "Oh, do it this way, do it this way." And then all of a sudden I go and I look at the screen and I see this, right? This guy running. And I was like, "Oh, do you want me to run like that?" And they all start laughing. And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "That's you."
Oh my God. So you're a rookie and you managed to find yourself on a set, either as a background, or you're hustling and you managed to get onto a set. Do's and don'ts. What do you do? What don't you do?
You guys can start that one. I gotta find where that is in my notes.
Yeah, no, but I'll start by saying,
don't talk.
No, I'm going back to one, like what you said, Paul, about the PAs, and what both of you guys said. It's like the PAs know everything. Like, be cool to the PAs. Be fucking cool to the PAs.
Mm-hmm. Hey, don't treat them like shit. Your 7 a.m. call time, they were already there at 4 a.m. Yep. And then they're the last ones to leave. Like, they're already running on zero sleep, and they get no turnarounds. Be nice.
This advice goes to someone hustling a set and somebody who's, like, let's say, on their first gig and they've never been on.
Let me tell you something. Unless you're the guy on the set, unless you're the AD, unless you're whatever, they are Mama Bear, right? Mm-hmm. Mama Bear can yell at her kids.
Yeah.
But nobody else better yell at her fucking kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like, if you shit on a PA, chances are that director or that AD finds out about it, they're going to fucking shit on you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you respect the PAs with just immensely.
They're the ones
work so hard. They work so hard.
Yes. And they're the ones, if you are going to try and hustle a set in person, they're the ones you need to have on your side. 100%. Yeah. You need to have them on your side. They need to want to help you. Because most PAs that have been working for a while, well, I mean, maybe less so after COVID, but before COVID especially, they all knew that stunt performers would come to hustle sets. It's just a thing, So treat the PAs with mucho respect.
Mm-hmm. Well, just anyone on set. You don't know who's who. Like, that PA could be like the director's kid, and you didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've seen PAs like become directors and producers down the line, and they've hired me back.
Yep.
Just because I was nice to them back in the day.
A lot of them, learning that's and growing. Why they're there. They're there to be that. They're there to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, don't treat them like your personal assistant. Don't tell them to get your coffee for no reason. When you're not doing anything, you're sitting in the trailer. Get your own coffee.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And and sometimes I'll be getting my own stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh no, I'm like, "No, I got it, man. It's like, it's all good. I can get my own shit, But if you're so what else? You've found a set. I mean, like in New York City, you walk around now. It's like it used to be like you would pass at least 3 locations, where like whatever, and then so I would always check the honey wagon. So for the rookies, learn what is the honey wagon, right? Find base camp, look at the honey wagon and see if it says stunt cop, stunt this, stunt that on the door. Then you'll know stunts are there that day. If I don't see stunts listed on the honey wagon, I just go home.
Really? You don't ask the PA? That's what I do.
Nah, I kind of like, because I have
PA knows all.
Yeah, but I have this mixed feeling about hustling. Like, part of me feels like I'm annoying somebody at their job, and part of me feels like, oh, if I see there's indication of stunts, then I'll hang out a bit and, see who's around. If there's any, now it's like, if I know somebody, which is a pretty good chance I'll know somebody. But at the time when I was a rookie, I was really nervous about it, like about just doing the wrong thing or whatever. So
anytime I see a yellow sign while I'm driving, I pull over and follow it. There's been times where I've driven in the middle of nowhere. Well, yeah.
Crew that way.
I pulled up to things where it was just like a small commercial or a little indie film, and I'm like, oh, okay, no stunts here, but at least I tried. I know now.
No, I'll always check, but like I said, if I don't see some indication that there's stunts, I'm like, I'm not going to stand around for hours.
When it comes to hustling in general, back in the day, you used to be able to just walk up on set, and a hustle was appreciated. I feel like that has changed a little bit now. What do you think?
I still hustle whenever I can. I haven't seen the attitude change. No, it's unacceptable.
I think if you do it right, if you do it respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the important thing is stay incognito and out of the way. Don't be in the way and try to like go during a take or right before the take. Just wait.
Be like, "I is here, everybody. Notice me."
Yeah.
The other thing is I would say, like, it's kind of like, don't make it don't turn it into something that it's not. Like, don't think there's going to be long conversation. I mean, if a coordinator engages you that way, that's one thing. But really, you're just there to say, "Hey, my name is so and so. I'd like, I'm a stunt performer, local to here, blah blah." And then if that's it, then that's it. Then you just thank them for their time, and then you can move on.
Mm-hmm.
And make it short and sweet. Then don't stop by catering. Make yourself a plate and sit down.
Yeah.
Get in and out.
So now that we're here, having multiple jobs on set, and then running into the stunt department, I know that when I do that, I am hello, goodbye, and I leave, and I don't make it look like I'm working another job to be a whore to hustle stunts. So I really do try and almost not hang out with one department when I'm working for another. Where do you fall when that comes in?
I don't know if you guys ever been invited to set when you're not on the clock. It's a little awkward. I've had that happen a few times where a coordinator is around, is like, "Hey, just come on by," and it's like, I could stay here all day, but I'm not really involved. I think it's kind of like that. You check in, you kind of have a good little time, and then leave. Don't overstay your welcome.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the coordinator. And again, I think it's like how they engage you, but I think smooth. Like one time I hustled Roy before I'd ever worked for him, and he was like super cool. Like, he brought me on set. We went to Crafty. We had coffee, blah, blah, blah. I probably spent a good 45 minutes there. He's like, "Hey, hang out. It's a slow day," like whatever. But I still, like, there is a time when it's time to go. Like, you'll know. You'll kind of know if you're honest with yourself. Like, I remember I hustled Court. They were shooting an episode of Blacklist literally around the corner from my house, right? So I just walked over, talked to him, said hello, and I'd worked for him before. I remember I messaged Tina. This is like back when I was much more green. I was like, "Hey, Tina, I've already worked for Court like twice this year. Should I go hustle him?" She's like, "Fuck yeah, go over and say hello." It's like, so I went over, I said hello, we talked for a few minutes, and then "Hey, I live around the corner, man. I just want to come say hi," and just went home, after that. But
yeah. But going off of what you're saying, Paul, I've definitely worked special effects on days when there's stunts there. And I'm not trying to like schmooze and be buddies with all the, I mean, even though there are friends, like, you're working for a different department today, I'm not going to try to hover around and act like I'm stunts when I'm not, or like at lunch, I'm going to go where my SFX boss is sitting. I'm not going to try to go sit at the stunt table. I'm going whoever's hiring me.
Yeah, like totally. when I'm loading trucks for Hard Out and unloading trucks, I'm pretty sure I've even seen you on set when I'm doing it. But like, I'm literally like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on? What are you doing?" "I'm working. I don't have time to fucking stop. I got a job to do."
Yeah.
So I almost, sometimes I've even reached out to the stunt coordinator afterwards and been like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I hope you don't think I was rude, but I have another job to do." And I was like, and I really wasn't there to hustle in any way, shape, or form. So don't take me just saying hello and walking by as like, and they're like, "Dude, actually," they're like, "No, I totally get it. And I appreciate that you do that."
Yeah. I think they're aware and they understand that. Going off of one of the things of being on set, and I think this is a huge one, know when to pitch your 2 cents. For the most part, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Especially if it's like you're new, like if you're new.
Yeah. Yeah, like when you see the director and the coordinator sitting there and they're discussing the scene and they're kind of going in circles and you're like, "I got an idea." It's like, that is not the time to pitch your idea. No. You wait for them. Always let them pitch first. And then when they walk away and they're still like not problem solving, maybe talk to your coordinator and be like, "Hey, this is what I was kind of thinking. Maybe try it then." But you got to read the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not about you.
My first moment like that, when they were rehearsing, it was on Iron Fist, and they were doing a scene, and I'm watching it, and they're pew-pewing it from the wrist, and I'm like shaking my head as they're going through it, and then I wasn't going to say anything. Whatever, they're fucking doing it. I don't give a shit, right? But then the AD comes up to me. The first AD comes up to me, and he's like, "What do you think of the scene?" And I'm like, I'm like, "Well, they look like they're fucking pew-pewing it." I go, "They're taking it from the wrist. They got to take their shot in their shoulder." I was like, "That's how you shoot a gun." And he goes, "Oh yeah, what are you, a fucking expert?" And he walks away, and I was like, "Shit, I just fucked up." But then he hasn't run the scene again, and he looks at it, and the second they walk through and they shoot the guns a couple of times, he turns around, he just goes, fuck. And then he walks in and he yells at them all. He's like, guys, you don't fucking shoot guns like that from the wrist. He goes, you take it from the shoulder. And he's like, thanks, dude. He's like, good catch. And then afterwards, he found out my Krav Maga, my background, this and that. But until then, I was just a security guy. And I think he thought I was going to tell him that scene was awesome.
But there are times, like, to your point, Anthony, about like when to speak up and when not to. Like, there are times when you're going to want to say something but it's just not your job. Just dial it back and let the people that are there to do a certain job do a job. And they might ask you, like, if you were brought in for a particular thing, they might ask your opinion. But I like your approach. Like, just like I was on a set with Tom Place on a show. Won't mention the show, but the director I was playing a cop. I had to restrain somebody. Tom was giving him all these ideas about how he wanted it to happen. And the director was just being a real fucking asshole, just like infantilizing Tom, like fucking minimizing him, like treating him like dirt, right? Like nothing that Tom threw at him was right. Like, it was just wrong. I mean, they were great. They were all great, but the director just whatever. He had his issues or whatever. But it wasn't like I just chimed in like, hey, man. So like I kind of on the side with Tom was like, I have an idea if you want it, And then he was like, yeah, go for it, dude. And the director liked that idea, but I was still like so worried. I'm like, oh my God, is he pissed off at me now? Did I like one up him or like whatever?
I think you approached it right. Yeah, you waited for your opening. You respectfully asked. You opened up the conversation.
And he texted me after. He goes, thanks. I said, I hope it's cool that I suggested that. Blah blah blah. And he was like, dude, you saved my ass. Like, that director was just chewing me out like left and right. Like, you saved my ass.
Yeah.
But I've heard story from another performer who spoke up in the moment and the director liked what they offered more than what the coordinator offered. And in the moment on set, the coordinator was like, oh yeah, that's great, man. Good idea, blah, blah, blah. But after they said cut and went off set, the coordinator was like, don't you ever fucking do that again. Don't you ever speak up like that again. It's like, he got yelled at for just speaking out of turn,
Yeah, because it's making your coordinator look like an idiot. I think when you pull them aside, especially away from other departments and the director and everything,
it's disrespectful.
Yeah. That's the time to kind of voice things. What's that saying? The right move at the wrong time is still the wrong move.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, we call it tact.
Yeah.
You gotta have tactfully. When you bring things up, you just can't fucking blurt it out.
There was this one background guy. Since we're talking about on set, there's this one background guy.
There's always a background guy
who I felt like he was almost stalkerish. Like, he would see me I almost felt like he would always end up on a set that I was on. And
he's like, your living room furniture looks great from the outside, by the way.
It was close because he would like he was following my Instagram, he was following my stuff, and I was like, and he would show up, and every time he'd be like, you want to talk to me about how to get into stunts? And I was like, at one point it was on Ray Donovan, and when I was doubling Eddie Marson, and there's a fight scene going on, and I'm watching the monitors to try, like whatever. And he came up to me and he wanted to talk, and I'm like, dude, like, I am like working right now. I am actually working right now. Like, talk to me later, Then he ended up on another set of Blind Spot, and then he ended up on another set. I was like, is this guy fucking following me or what? But like, basically, it's the same thing. If you want to ask questions, it's totally cool to ask questions.
Mm-hmm. No one to do it.
Time to do it. The right time to do it.
You know what Corey says? Yeah, you can't learn timing. You're either born with it or you're not. I think you can learn it, but timing is huge in life and stunts. Yeah.
I've heard people talk about like the sense of timing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's an inborn kind of sense, just like a sense of sight or hearing or smell or whatever that it is, sort of this innate timing thing. But I think you can sort of like, it's like behavior modification. You can definitely learn some like, okay, don't talk now.
Yeah.
Talk after they say cut and we're on a break or whatever, But
you're just gonna have to work twice as hard to get there. That's all.
Yeah. Dude, what were you gonna say?
I think the best compliment I ever got was I had a grip. I had a fucking old school surly fucking grip who's probably retired now, who is like, man, he goes, so many people get paid here to do a job, and they fucking do, and they do it fucking terrible. He goes, I would just be happy if the production assistant would pay you to come here and just be you. Just be on set, man. He's like, you're just fucking great to have on set. He's like, you just get it.
I think that's a thing now. I've heard about it. It's called a vibe coordinator.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
you,
an actual thing.
Velvet suit, purple, with the cane.
feather in the fedora. Seriously though,
I gotta sport the Newsies hat.
Yeah. But seriously though, like that kind of ties back to what we were talking about before about like the question about being an expert of everything or a jack of all trades and all that kind of stuff. Or like the most important thing is like, can I spend 12 hours with you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I think people will forgive a lack of skill if you are cool to be with like for 15 hours. You know, they're much more forgiving of mistakes if you're not annoying, you know, chatterbox, like just mosquito, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're cool to be with on set and you understand the culture and you know
when to talk.
Yeah. Then
especially if you're gonna be on location with them for weeks on end, you don't want to be stuck with them. Just always.
It's almost more important than skill. I mean, it is a skill. It's not even not a skill. That is a skill. Is like to be that person on set.
Be chill. Don't keep pitching yourself. We get it. You're here for a reason. Don't keep selling yourself. Stop.
Yeah. If people don't understand that selling yourself, you don't. It's like when people come to the gym and they take a trial class and they're expecting the pitch, you know, because so many martial arts school owners are like, they're taught, don't let people leave without signing on the dotted line. And it's a hard sell. And then like me, I'm so soft about it that sometimes they walk out and I didn't even get to say goodbye. Like, because I'm just like, and then when they do talk to me after class, it's like they're expecting the pitch because they've tried out classes in a bunch of schools. They're expecting the hard sell. And I'm just like, hey, hopefully we see you again, man. And they're like, oh, is that it? I'm like, well, I just tell them straight up, I don't want a student that I have to convince to join here.
Yeah, you got to want to be there.
If you want to be here, let's talk about it. But I'm not going to shove it down your throat, you know? Totally.
A big one for me on set would be I'm seeing this a lot lately. People just being on their phones, not being heads up.
I
leave want to be an asset, not a liability.
I leave my phone in my trailer. I never ever bring my phone.
What? You're crazy. What if you got an avail check for another show for next week?
I always leave it in my stunt bag.
If I get an availability check, right, and they need something that moment, it's been very rare. Like, put it this way. If I know I'm going to set and set is like really far away, I'll throw it in my bag. That's different. But in general, like my phone does not come out on set with me. It's in my bag. It stays in my bag. I never check it. Like I'll check it in between takes or when I know I have the time to look at it, but my phone is non-existent when I'm on set. And if I'm working enough to where I'm on set and I get a fucking availability check, I can't wait until I get there. It's been a while since that happened.
Word's coming back.
Mine is always silenced in the bag.
I don't like to see people if I'm working. Like if I am hired as a stunt person, to me, I think if I'm on set, it's unprofessional for me to be in my phone while shooting is going on, and I should be paying attention.
Yeah, 100%.
You should be paying attention. If the coordinator's grabbing a mat, you're basically fired.
That's what I'm saying. Like you want to make sure that you are going to be there when you're needed, without being asked, and your head in your phone does not fucking make that happen.
Yeah, be out of sight, but within earshot. Get ready for the next setup. You know, by the time they finish shooting this shot, you should already be grabbing the mats for the next thing if it's a wire gag or whatever.
Of all my fuck ups of ever being on set, the one I can never get out of my head is when I was asked to wipe down mats and I didn't do a good job.
Well, and
I had to do it. And I had to do it again the next day with somebody else.
This reminds me of
I feel like shit. I'm like, it's the one thing that's hung over my head of like the biggest fuck up I ever did was not wiping down mats right.
You got to put more elbow grease into it. That's all.
Well, it was in the city. I had no sink, no nothing. And they just gave me a cloth and a bucket.
Oh, no.
I was like out on the street in the city.
I mean, I was working on a movie last year where there was a double for one of the leads that really had nothing to do that day, but they were there. And I remember we broke for lunch. And that person didn't join us for lunch, and we didn't see them on set. They weren't around, and the coordinator was like, "Where Like nobody knew where they were. Like, where are you? You know, it's like I saw them at base camp, and then I never saw them again the rest of the rest of the 2 days that I worked on this production. But I mean, the coordinator made it very clear to everybody else how unprofessional that was. But it was like, don't do that. Like, be around, be available, help. You know, there's lots of stuff to do to help.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when I see people just sitting on the mats, just scrolling, and then not a care in the world or paying attention to what's going on. They don't know what the next thing is or who's who. What? It's
and along those lines, like taking pictures and stuff. Like, don't post pictures. This goes back to social media of other people without talking to those other people, and that goes with videos too.
I had one day where I was just an extra guy on set, and there was a big fight going on, and they had to do a reset, and I'm just kind of watching, and I'm just watching the number one kind of walking, you know, looking and getting frustrated, and I was just like, hey man, I'm like, you know, I can just stand here and put my hands up. I was like, if you just want to stay warm, and he's like, that would be great. And I just stand there, put my hands in a fighting stance, and just let him stay warm, move around, move his hands. Keep moving around. And then afterwards, he's like, dude, he's like, that was great. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, thank you for noticing that that's what I was looking for. And all it is just paying attention.
Yeah. Gold star.
Dude, any other final thoughts?
Oh, final thoughts. We're not halfway through.
I know, right? We're already
so much to cover.
An hour and 15 minutes here, man.
I don't know.
It all kind of circles around.
We're about to open another fucking Four Loko.
I think one of the bigger things I want to touch on is it's just figuring out stunts in life in general. First of all, social media is not real. Don't believe everything you see. Don't use it to compare yourself because it'll make you feel like crap, especially if you're not working. I mean, people hit me up all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're working all the time." I'm like, "Dude, whatever I just posted was from 3 or 4 years ago. It's all old work." Yeah. So don't believe it. Use it to be aware and educate yourself what's out there, inspire yourself. Social media can help or hurt. You got to figure out how to use it. I think the biggest thing what I'm trying to get to is have a life outside of stunts. Don't make stunts be your one and only identity, because when it's slow and you get the stunt blues, you're like, oh, I'm worthless. What am I doing with my life? Like, have other interests. To tell an interesting story, you need to have lived an interesting story. So have hobbies, have interests, have a life outside of this. So when it is slow, you go do other things or train.
100%, man. It's like I'm not faulting anybody for that does this, but like when I'm not like in my non-stunt time, let's just say non-work time or whatever. Like, I'm not hanging out all the time with stunt people
or famous people
or in my social life or anything. I mean, it's not that I'm opposed. Like, if you're in the hood, you want to hang out, grab a beer, that's cool. But a whole other life is such good advice. Like, you can't put all your eggs in that basket.
Like, I love that I got 30 years of being a chef, now.
Yeah.
And I'm still a chef. I still take chef work.
But to your point, Anthony, about like this business is full of, it's like an abusive relationship in a sense. Like, you have these peaks of like fucking cool, exciting times, and then all of a sudden depression. Like, people will get into the union, they'll get their first job and they're so fucking excited, and then they don't get a job for a year. Like, what do you do for that year? You can't shit on yourself all this time. Like, like you have to do something. You have to have a life outside of this.
Yeah, you got to find your purpose. And to do that, there's 3 questions you got to answer. Who are you? Where are you going? And with whom? People aren't figuring that out. They're like, stunts. But when stunts isn't happening, who are you? Figure that out.
Yeah. In a way, I feel like that was an advantage maybe for both of us because we came to this business with already like established lives and other careers and stuff like that. I always tell people, like, if I could never work another stunt job ever, I still have the gym, I still have all my students, I still have all this other stuff. It's like,
and unless you come from, like you said before, nepotism, you really are putting your time in and busting your ass and making sure that you're on the top of the list for that changing of the guard.
Yeah.
It's an investment, man.
And it really is, because stunt guys last for a long time. The smart ones do. The smart ones and the good ones, they're in the business for a long time. And, to try, sometimes you're 2 or 3 back in the fold of who's going to follow in. before you could be anything outside of just a fall guy.
Yeah.
So if you're going to really try and make it in this business, you got to make sure that you're not looking for a quick fix to be a coordinator right away and make big bucks and fucking be, David Leitch and director behind the camera. It takes years and years and years of basically being a PA in the stunt world, and just being that guy that does the small things.
I would also say, would you say the third one was know who you're going with?
Yes.
Anthony?
With whom? Yeah.
With
not,
whom?
Not everyone's going to be on the train with you at the end.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? Like,
or you could be taking a train that's going into a fucking brick wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You could hook your wagon to the wrong, but it definitely is. That is so true. Like we are, right? We are everybody. We are standing on the shoulders of everybody that came before us, and we can't do it alone at all. This is not a solitary thing. In a way, it's like fighting, right? Like when you're in the ring or cage, it's just you, but it's not just you that got you there, and it's like, so you have to have your crew.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on that note, I will also say it is, who you associate with is important.
And there's one thing in this business you can't fake, and that's set experience. Because there are 200 people that will be able to see through you in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't fake that, and that's something that I feel like people also need to know. If you think that you're going to be able to, I can just blah blah blah, you cannot fake that experience. No. It's fucking just like you can't fake knowing how to cook.
So what are the three things again? Know who you are.
You got to answer, who am I, where am I going, and with whom.
I like that.
That's a great way to end. This is awesome. Thanks so much, dude.
Thank you guys. This has been fun.
Yeah, it was totally fun,
for
man.
Sure.
Totally fun. And by the way,
I wish we could put down the computer and just go to the bar and keep fucking chilling.
Yeah. And for everybody listening, happy Thanksgiving, because I think Thanksgiving just passed.
Oh.
When this drops, I'm pretty sure Thanksgiving just happened.
That means I was cooking like crazy last weekend.
There you go.
That means I gained 10 pounds in.
You didn't give me a care package. Bringing food to the gym?
Oh shit.
Asshole.
No. Dude. All right. Thanks so much, Anthony. It was great.
Thank you guys.
Check you later, buddy.
Later.
Take it easy.
Film Fights with Friends is produced by Stephen Kepfer, Paul Veracci, Press Record Studios, and Breakball Studios. This episode was engineered by Matthew Kaplowitz. This show is powered by our supporters at Patreon and is a registered trademark of Film Fights with Friends, LLC. Original theme by Aru Luster.